Hey everybody, so this is going to be probably a longer video and with less editing. Um, the Great Reset, hashtag Civil War 2020. What's going on with this? Uh, the divisiveness in the election, the states suing different states and appealing different things, challenging each other, and all the while we have uh, major galactic events going on within our solar system and stuff like that. So, like Saturn and Jupiter are conjuncting; they're coming together at a single point at 0 degrees in the sign of Aquarius, um, which that's like um, a huge shift in the way things are going to be going for the United States and the world in the years to come. Yeah. So, um, so a lot of shit going on, a lot of stuff going on. So, um, so let's talk about Great Reset, Civil War 2020, hashtag the the trend that's going on Twitter right now from both sides. Everybody's saying that a civil war would kind of, well, I've heard people saying that they want a civil war for whatever reason. But I'll share with you my perspective on that and my view on a better solution that I think would be uh, better for everybody. Nobody wants war. Nobody wants conflict. Nobody wants. All that's going to do is bring more division, more disunity, more disruptiveness, more uh just hell on earth, basically, because we can't get along, because we can't um learn to live with each other, and the whole dissolution of the United States. What does that mean? What's going on there? Um, because in my view, it would be better if the United States separated and the Republican states basically had their own United States, and the Democratic states formed their own union, and that way, um, because at least then the power would not be in the federal government. The power would be at the state level and at the unions of the states, and it would be more localized to the people, and not in the federal government. And that's the big problem that we're having now. The problem is nobody wants to unite under one leader, under one leadership, one president. And so, since there has been, these it doesn't really even matter like why, the reason, or the reason for this like conflict and turmoil. But basically, we all know that the Republicans are contesting the election because certain states they say that certain states didn't follow the laws, especially like Pennsylvania, regarding their mail-in ballots and whatever. I don't know the whole thing behind that. I'm not as informed as I'd like to be on that, but I do know a fair bit of it, and So it's just this thing where we really need to figure out what we're doing. Um, you know, like either we either we need to learn to come together and just, you know, Trump's Trump's legal team basically throwing fucking everything at the wall trying to see what sticks. Um that that's okay. I mean, from a legal challenge perspective, that's okay. And that, if there is legitimate concerns about the mail-in ballots and the voting and the election tampering and all that, that I have no problem with that. That's fine. But at a certain point, when all your um, legal options have been exhausted, you're either going to say no, never Biden. We will never accept the results. We will never unify under that president. Or you'll say, okay, well, it's in the best interest of everybody to come together, unite, and figure out a solution that benefits everybody. And that's where we're at. And so, everybody thinks that everybody has this like idealization of like a civil war where the Democrats are going, yeah, the Republicans are going to get their asses kicked and we'll finally be in charge and whatever. I want you to stop thinking that way. And the Republicans are thinking, oh yeah, we're heavily armed. We'll kick some ass, and take over the Democrats, and they'll basically have uh where we'll be in charge, and they'll be like, have to, I don't know what they think, but um but this really gets me fired up. It's like, no, so everybody has these idealizations of how they'll be in power when the Civil War comes and whatever. I want you to put that down. And we really need to think about what's in the best interest of everybody. And perhaps dissolving the federal government, dissolving the United States, the and going to a more local, state-based government that would put a lot more power in the hands of the people at the lower levels, where they could really change their local problems and their local issues with crime and poverty and things like that, where we could actually, perhaps even benefit from a dissolution of the federal government. But, okay, the whole fighting against each other and all that is just unnecessary. Like, nobody wants war. Nobody wants suffering for a lot of people. And I think if we can come up with a way to put power in the hands of the local population, where they can, have their own self-governance and really decide what's best for them, as well as having like an interdependence of the states. Because where I'm at in New Mexico, if we were to just secede from the United States, it wouldn't be good for us. Our agriculture would like we would have starving people everywhere, basically. Yes, we have oil and gas and stuff like that, but we don't have a lot of agriculture, a lot of diversity in food um and I mean we have some, but I don't think it's going to be enough to sustain the whole state if we really needed to. So um so I think like an interdependence would work, where we would have like the government at the local population, and then have the economy would be like the whole United States economy works, where products and services are inter interspersed between the United States, so that, and this is done so that we don't have mass starvation, mass crime, like like if we were to isolate our economies in the different states, that wouldn't work well for anybody. So, and then there's the issue of the Great Reset. What are these governors in these liberal states trying to do? They're trying to shut down local businesses, small businesses. You know, it's been a hell of a year for small business owners. 2020, a lot of their businesses have been shut down, and stuff like that. And it's just terrible, and they have no recourse. Basically, it's the mandates, the dictates of these governors that are shutting down these businesses, and they have no stimulus checks to fall back on. They have no savings really to fall back on to help themselves to pay their bills and whatever. And so it's just a sad state of affairs where local business is really hurting. But then if you look at the big businesses, the Hollywood, the Amazon, the Walmarts, the whatever, big businesses are not really being affected. And they're not being shut down, and they're basically saying that they are essential businesses, and it's kind of like that too big to fail kind of thing, where they would like kind of protect the big businesses because they employ so many people. Well, I think you'll find that in the economy, it's important for small businesses to stay alive, just as important as probably as big businesses. But all these big business owners and billionaires and stuff like that want to basically they want a great reset, where what I think Trump was trying to do was help the people, help move the power down to the local people. And and Trump's not perfect either. I mean, everybody knows that, but neither is Biden. So, I mean, and we just see that with the whole cover up of the emails and the Biden laptop and the FBI investigation probe into his dealings with China and all that stuff. So, see what else. Oh yeah, so the corporatist, quote unquote, elite wanting to move the power structure from the local level, from the small businesses, from the people who do things for themselves, up to the federal level, to the state level, to be up the chain, so that way that basically they're trying to like move all the money up to them, kind of thing, where they have all the power and all the money and all that. And so that's the big difference between the Republican states and the Democrat states, the red states and the blue states. One is trying to move power up the chain of command, and one is trying to move power down the chain of command. And so it'll be interesting if we do split the United States, to see how the blue states basically, how their self-governance operates versus the red states. And so, yeah, I think that there needs to be, well, I think that if best thing would be to come together, and if we can't come together as a nation, then we need to come together in a group of states, like, so that the blue states can support the blue states, the red states can support the red states, and we can have this experiment in how things are run in two different fashions, kind of way, but still, like, I think we can both agree on both sides. What we're really trying to do is, nobody wants war, nobody wants, pain. We all want, at the end of the day, the world to be a better place for our children and for future generations than it was for us. I mean, so that way future generations can have it easier and have a better, brighter future, have a more, just like a safer future, where they don't have to struggle as hard as our parents did, our grandparents did. And so that way we can really go into this Aquarian age, this utopian age. And I'm not saying it's going to be a utopia right away. I mean, we will need to do some very hard work to get there, but I think that, everyone wants the same thing. Everyone wants peace, healthy, happy families, and all that. And it's just a difference in perspective of how we get there. Democrats want this big government that will take care of everybody, and Republicans want the government to be smaller and less restrictive, so they can have more freedom to take care of themselves, to really do what's necessary to have the limitations and the restrictions off them, so that way they can really, blossom into what they want to do with their lives without having all this restriction and this like limitation on their freedom. And it's just two different perspectives. One says the government's going to take all the responsibility of everything, and one says, no, I want to have control over my life. I want to have control over, how my life turns out. I want, personal freedom. And I think that's okay. I think I would like to see the two models kind of competing, like a competition for ideas, and seeing maybe in 10 years, 15 years, how this whole thing turns out. If the Democrat states do very well for themselves and come up with like this solution that like where they have, taxes are high, but everybody is taken care of. There's like a universal basic income and stuff like that. I think that would be interesting, and if that works for them, fantastic. Great. We've gotten to the solution where where kids are not starving, where people are not starving, going homeless, you know, all that. Crime is down and all that. That's great. And on the other hand, where Republican states can, achieve this future where, everything is private and like privatized, and it's more of like this libertarian freedom ideal model where we have our, all our all our like freedoms, so that way we can start businesses, start these entrepreneurial ventures and things, and that end up creating a utopia, like a great positive future for society, for that society. It can be done both ways, and I'm just sitting here going, like, why can't we just have a peaceful, like, nobody wants a civil war. I don't want a civil war. Nobody wants a civil war. Why can't we just have a peaceful divorce? Irreconcilable differences. Let's say irreconcilable differences between the states. The red states group together and do their own thing. Blue states group together and do their own thing. And then we come back to this in 10 years and see which ideas work better. I think there really needs to be a freedom of ideas where we can exercise different, we can experiment with different ideas in different local governments and seeing what works best. And maybe a local idea will work in one state and not another, and so by all these states trying these different ideas in self-governance and in economic, in the economy and stuff like that, by trying different ideas, that kind of puts you ahead in, you like trying an idea for a year, in different states have different ideas, and so that would really, we would really start to see what ideas work and what ideas do not work in a very quick period of time. And so it's this Aquarius energy moving into December and 2021 and beyond, that I think we really need to focus on. It's this shift in perspective where we're not fighting each other, we're just separating from each other, like ideologically, and trying different shit out, trying different ideas out. And so I think that has the potential to really give people the personal freedom that they want in their lives to, exercise the governance and the personal responsibility and the freedom that they want in their own lives, to have a chance to make a difference and make a better world, and try different ideas. And I'm not saying that we need to like, this is not like an anarchist kind of idea. No, this is not that this is, let's try something different. It's obviously half the country is very unhappy, and they're pissed, they're upset about whether it's about the election or whether it's about the new president or whether it's, there's obviously this growing clash, this growing divide, and I just feel like it's time to say, okay, well, this is not working clearly. And so, if people have these great ideas and whatever, then I say, okay, well, we're clearly not agreeing on this right now. How about we separate irreconcilable differences, come back to it in 10 years and see if we can maybe find a more peaceful, equally empowering solution where we can unite and have, something that works good for everybody. So that's just my ideas, but we shall see. But I mean, people with the Civil War thing, oh my god, does not need to come to civil war. Like, we can peacefully separate. Like, there's going to be no winners in a civil war. Everybody loses. And so, and even with the race thing, like the Black Lives Matter and all that stuff, there's a good chance to really open some ideas and really experiment with some things where these, liberal Democrat states can really implement some policies and some ideas that around race relations and the police and all this stuff that really gives them an opportunity to see which ideas work and which ideas are helpful and which ideas don't work and aren't helpful. And so I think really experimenting with the way the police interacts with community and all that. I don't know the whole machinations behind that or the ideas behind that, but it would be interesting to see where people can experiment with the with like social dynamics and race relations and all that stuff. And I think if we separate, if that's what people want to do, I think it would be a much better idea to separate for a few years and see how things go than to have the Civil War and have one ideology, Jesus, in power, and then have the other ideology subjugated, than to just, why not just split up, why not just irreconcilable differences, kind of thing. And if people want to go to civil war, that's what's going to be happening, is one ideology will be in charge and the other one will be subjugated, and that's does not work for anybody. That does not serve anybody. I mean, we all want the same things in life. We all want peace. We all want a happy, healthy family. We all want, prosperity, wealth, and we all want people to do their best, to be their best. And civil war is not it. So, I think if we can all have our ideologies, have our ideas, and express them and experiment with them, while at the same time maintaining an economic interdependence where we're not like closed off economies just all in our own echo chambers, but instead we're, producing what we can produce and shipping to, delivering our goods and services to different states. And I think the biggest thing that would be affected with if states separated would be the economy. And yeah, that's the only thing I'm really worried about is the economy, because we're already in tough times right now as it is, with the whole COVID lockdown situation. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I think if we can have the freedom to experiment with ideas in self-governance and taking those ideas with the different ideologies of freedom versus safety or security or whatever it is, I think there's a good way to do things, and I think there's a bad way to do things. And I'm just saying, nobody wants civil war. Like, that will not benefit anybody. That will hurt both sides. No, I think the Republican states will be more militarized, more prepared to defend themselves and stuff like that. But I mean, for what? Like, there's gonna be winners and losers, so I mean, it's kind of a silly, infantile thing, I see these keyboard warriors saying, oh yeah, like, yeah, our side's gonna win and whatever, all these mental masturbation, basically, that it's just not going to work out for anybody. And so I think just a peaceful separation probably be the most one of the best things to happen. Well, if we decide to declare irreconcilable differences, basically. So, anyway, it's been real. I'll talk to you guys later. I'm glad I got this off my chest because it's been irritating me. Alright, guys. Now, another thing. I'm an astrologer. Got it? So, if you want a personal astrology reading, yep. Where is it? Right there. Right there. Hit that link right there. Vincent.thunderwizard.com. And, hit me up. I will, be glad to help you, give you an astrology reading, and see what's in your future, and see which which planets and all that want to really help you and make you abundant and spiritual and liberated and all that good stuff. Alrighty, guys. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm actually going to post this in a few places. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. The YouTube channel is Gebo the Shaman. And, yeah, it's been fun talking to you guys, and I wish you all the best in these crazy, crazy times. I will come out with some more videos on mental health and, different things like that. Yeah, just let me know what you guys are interested in. Let me know if this has been, helpful for you guys. It's just some ideas that I really wanted to talk about and share with you guys. A lot of this is just like people just want to fight. They just want to butt heads and, and shove the other opposing idea out of just obliterate it, basically. When I'm saying, hold up, let's stop this and, separate and have our own, separate ideas, and then come back together when we've figured the best ideas out and, reform this union for a better, stronger future. And so, that's just my Aquarius brain, thinking, the best possible future for everybody. So, yep, hit that link. Jesus, I can never do this. Hit that Vedic, it's Vedic Astrology, so vincent.thunderwizard.com, and like, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. And Happy New Year. I hope 2021 is very peaceful and prosperous for us all. And I hope that we can all handle our irreconcilable differences in a peaceful manner and have a peaceful, either a peaceful reunion or a peaceful split. So, that's me, guys. Peace.